Hey everyone, it's Beth with Text Creations, but I'm going to show you how you can take something that's already pre-made, how you can add to it and turn it into something even more bigger and better and turn a profit on it when you sell something like this. So let me hang this up. So as you can see, that's a pretty nice size wreath. Let me get my tape measure out. Now this came from factory direct. So this already measures 24 inches across. So tonight I'm going to be adding more boxwood to this, because we're going to really fill it up, and we're going to add lemons. Something so, lemons in the summertime, lemonade, lemon cake, lemon pie, lemon. To me, that just screams summer. So we are going to make a lemon wreath, but here's the bow that I'm going to be adding. Now, I want you to notice this yellow ribbon right here. Let me pull it out. This yellow ribbon is sheer. So that's going to make it very light and airy, and it's going to have a lot of movement. This black and white stripe, it's also kind of a sheer, so it's going to make it very light. It's not going to weigh it down, okay? So we're going to put that ribbon right about here. But the first thing we're going to do, I'm letting my glue heat up. We're going to be adding some extra boxwood. And I'm not sure what this particular floral is called. I know this is one that I use a lot. I got all of this. Let me show you again. This boxwood and this came from Hobby Lobby. These came from Hobby Lobby. And then here are the ribbons that I'm using. Both of these came from Hobby Lobby, okay? I just want to show you the back of this. The back of this is a very, very, very thin grapevine. I mean, very thin. And because it's so thin on the back, I am not going to use a pick machine. Okay, because no matter if I cut the picks down or not, those picks are going to come right through, and I don't want that to happen. But it's thick enough, or I should say there's enough weave in here that I can use the stems just fine. So I will not be using a pick machine, but I also just wanted to show you how easy it would be for you to take a pre-bought wreath. Now, I'm not big on that. I like to make everything from scratch. But sometimes, if you're running a Facebook page or you got your own business and you got an Etsy shop, you've got to get that inventory in there. And one of the things I like to tell a lot of my, especially my business group, is you want to have items in your Etsy shop, your website, wherever you're selling your products. You want to have a good variety of price range. You don't want to have everything so high end. You want to have some things down here and then in the middle. That way, anyone can go to your shop and they can pick something out. I'm using my glue pan tonight. So we're going to start off by adding this greenery. I honestly do not know what this is called. But the leaves are very, very tiny, but they're very wispy. So I'm just going to put some glue on the end. And as you can see, this is going in a rotating motion. I'm just going to come in here randomly and slide these in, and I'm going to add more texture and more volume to my wreath. Okay. And you want some coming up high. You want some coming down towards the center. You really want to fill it up. And see, then you can take this and spread them open, and that's just going to give it some more diversity on your texturing. And I've also noticed that this particular pick that I'm using, this particular greenery, is a little bit different of a shade. Of course, I got a lot of glue strings on me going on right now. And I'm putting three separate bunches in, so I really am going to add a lot to it. And I'm just going to follow the natural shape of the circular form of the wreath. So that was the first bunch that I just put in. And what I'm doing is I'm going through each individual one and I'm pushing all of the greenery up to the top. Okay, so I'm going to make that top very full. Push it all the way up to the top. And then when I snip, I'm leaving about, you can see that, about an inch, maybe a little more than an inch. And because I've already showed you the back, because the back of this wreath is not your typical grapevine wreath, I'm not using any picks tonight. Because the picks are just they're gonna really ruin it. They're just gonna run right through it. And that just gives me one more thing I have to try and clean up later. So as you can see, okay, that's about how much I left. So I'm just going to add some hot glue to the end. And I'm going to stick with using the same direction. And I'm just going to slip these into the grapevine. And another thing you can do also, ladies, after you get this all put together, you can go back and add either some felt to the back of this, or I had talked about one time adding silk leaves to the back. That will help camouflage any of the mechanics of these coming through. And again, I'm putting up some high, I'm putting some low, because I'm wanting to really fill this up. Now, if you wanted to, you can certainly make a boxwood wreath. It would be a lot cheaper doing it that way than buying a pre-made one. But you could probably go to Sims Pottery if you have a wholesale license. They sell their boxwood picks, and they look very similar to this, for 95 cents. Now, the only reason why you get them for 95 cents, you have to buy a lot of 12. That's the difference about wholesale. So if you were going to make a boxwood wreath, I would buy them from Sims Pottery. But again, you have to have your tax ID form in order to set up an account and buy them like that. So I'm now getting ready to add my third one. Oh, I need some down here. And just remember, you want to keep going with the form, because all these are going in a rotating, same rotating motion. Okay, just got 2 more of these, and then we're going to add some more boxwood. So right now, I'm just going to add some extra boxwood, because this boxwood and the boxwood that I bought the pre-made boxwood wreath, I should say, these are two different colors. This is a lighter shade. So that's going to give it a little more interest, a little more depth, if you will. So I didn't even notice that until just now, that there was a big difference in the colors. So I'm going to be adding these, but I'm only adding one bushel of this particular boxwood. So I added 3 of the other one and only 1 of this one. And again, this is a real quick and simple project, something that you can definitely, you know, make up some of these and sell them in your Facebook page, your Etsy shop, your website, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. You know, you're giving your customer a good variety to choose from. And this to me just screams summer. You know, boxwood is just summer things. This has already got, it's getting a lot fuller. And I'm just putting these right into the existing base. I'm just spreading these open and just putting that right down in that existing base. And then I'm going to pull the wreath itself and kind of open them up, give it a little more width. And I have 2 more to go, and then we're okay, last one. This would be very pretty to hang in a kitchen. I mean, you can certainly hang this on the door if you want. You know, I wouldn't add a lot of elements to it because, you know, this is just, see, this right here is pretty. Just like this. But you know me, I can't just do that. Okay, so here are the lemons that I'll be using. Okay? Lemons. I bought a bag of lemons from Hobby Lobby. The fake, I mean, these things look like real lemons. You know how real lemons have like that little tiny white looking sheen to it? These look like real lemons, and they come in 3 different sizes. So you have the larger size, a medium, and a small. So I didn't know how many lemons I was going to add to this, so I went ahead and bought 2 bags. So just so you know, 1 bag comes with, let's see, you have 5 large, 5 medium, and 5 small. So you have 15 lemons. Okay, so now there's several ways we can add these. One way, and let me just tell you guys real quick, let me just back up. Whenever you have any of these left over where you have the sticks, don't throw these away, okay? Just take your clippers and cut these off and put them in a bag, okay? Because you will use these. You can use these for a whole variety of reasons, and I'm going to show you one right now. So I have one like this. That's way too long, so I'm just going to cut it in half. All right. What you can do, if you really want to make sure that your whatever fruit you're adding is secure, take the stick, poke it into the lemon. See what I did there? Poke that in. you're going to add just a little bit of hot glue right around where the stick goes into the lemon. All right, then we're going to put some hot glue on this and we're going to insert that in there. So instead of hot gluing this directly into the greenery, we're going to hot glue this, which is also glued to the lemon, and insert it. So it's going to be a little more secure. The lemons are going to be a little more secured into the wreath. So that's why I say, if you ever have these, okay, always hang on to them. What I do is I spread them out and I just go in and I clip them off and I put them in a baggie, and then I always have them. These are good if you're going to use ornaments, any kind of ornaments that are, have styrofoam. It's a good way to attach your ornaments. So I have a whole bunch of these. Now you don't need your sticks very long. And see, that's already dried. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some glue right on the end. And now I can come in here and push that into the background, okay? Now, if you want some of the lemons more on the outer edge, you'll want your stick a little longer because you're going to want this to be able to go into the base comfortably enough where your lemon is still sticking out. And when you arrange your lemons, arrange them, you know, in different ways. Have, you know, this end maybe sticking out, this part of it sticking out. So, you know, make sure they're not, you just kind of have them going in any old way. You know, you don't, you certainly don't want your lemons going in the same direction because that doesn't look natural. Right around the edge. I'm going to just let that cool for just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and prep a few of them in advance. Especially the bigger lemons. You want the bigger lemons to make sure they, you know, they have some support, I guess, you know. Now these little ones, they don't weigh, but I mean, they hardly weigh anything. So I don't think I'm going to do that with these. I can hot glue these right in. But the bigger lemons, they're a little more heavier. So I will definitely put the stick on those. So see, I'm going to come right in here. And push that right in. And because the stick is green, you'll never see that stick. It's going to blend right in with the greenery. And here's a medium size. To see how this one has that little, I don't know, let me move this forward for you guys to see. So you see how the end of that lemon right there is facing forward. So you want your lemons going in at any, you know, any kind of direction. But that's another reason why I use the boxwood that had the little berries on them, because that also looks like the beginnings of a lemon. And now with the little teeny tiny ones, I'm sorry, there's the teeny tiny ones. These, all I'm going to do is just add some hot glue. Because, I mean, these don't weigh but nothing. And I'm just going to scatter those in as well. Just remember, if you're going to add any lemons on the outer edge, make sure your stick is long enough so it can reach all the way to that inner core. Actually, I'm going to put this one down here. And you kind of don't want your lemons sitting right on top either. Have some kind of tucking down, like they're peeking out of the greenery. That gives it more of a natural look as well. And these are just made out of really heavy styrofoam. So I'm going to start adding a few more of the little ones. And the little ones, I'm just going to have them peeking out. Now before I go any further, guys, I'm going to go ahead and add my bow so that way I can put my lemons around the bow instead of me I don't want to hide any lemons because of the bow. And see this one right here, actually I need to take this one out before it sets. If you'll let me. Yeah, okay, good. Because I actually want the bow to go right there. So this is my bow. So I'm just going to weave this through. And tie it off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to curl the ribbon. I need to pull some of that yellow ribbon to the front. Again, just curl that ribbon and let it just hang real flowy. Now this was a bow that I made on my Pro bow. And this is just a simple 2-ribbon bow. Very simple. And you can also take some of the greenery if you want and pull that through the bow a little bit. But see, now I can place the rest of my ribbons without hiding any behind the bow. So that the lemon that I just took out, I'm going to take that, add some more glue to it, and I'm just going to find a new home for it. So we're going to put that one way down here. I want to make sure I get it into the base. There, all right. Now I do, like I said, I did buy 2 bags of these, but I might not open up the second bag, so I can save that bag for another project, or I can return it. So just, you know, all depends. Okay, these are the medium ones. The medium ones I am going to use a pick, or not a pick, but a stick. But the little tiny ones I didn't I didn't feel like I needed to add, I didn't feel like I needed to add that. Okay, stand back. Let me put one way up here. Oh, these glue strings are killing me. Okay. I'm going to add the rest of these lemons. I have 4 more lemons. So let's see. I want to put a big one over here. Actually, I need a bigger stick because I want that to be able to reach all the way to the center. I'm going to put this one right here. I need one down here, and I need one right about here. Let me put the bigger one here. And I'll put a small one right there. And I want to pull some of these yellow streamers kind of forward just a little bit. Okay. All right. Let me move this forward so you guys can get a better look at it, and you can tell me what you think. So I think that's all the lemons I'm going to add, guys. I think too many more lemons would be overkill. Let me just hang that back up. So there you go. Super easy. You can sell this, like I said, on your Etsy or your website page and get a really nice profit, nice turnaround on it. It gives your customers some extra things that they can pick from, and it doesn't have to be on the high-end scale of your inventory, okay? So, love you guys. Thank you. See you soon.